Come closer so you can hear me. All right, Kokyo. Kokyo is in modern English, I would call it a micro drill, which means it is drilling for a singular or a very reduced amount of skills or aspects. Versus a drill, like you're doing a drill, like Kigon Waza, there's lots of aspects in it, or scenario, even more, okay? So Kokyu is micro drilling for Kokyu. Kokyu is a type of force engine. I'm gonna try to use modern terms for people who have not experienced it, don't know what it is, and have been misled by a lot of Aikido people who do not have Kokyu and cannot manifest Kokyu. It's a type of force engine. In particular, it's a rebounding force engine. So, not a rebounding force engine, let's say like a propelling force engine would be like boom, a punch. A rebounding engine would be more like when he hits my fist and then he bounces off of it. In terms of yin-yang, it is his yang aspect that I am going to internalize, allow to pass through me, hit the earth, come back through me, and hit him. That's the rebounding. Just to put it simply, it's a rebounding force engine. Okay? In Aikido, the way that Aikido uses it is you're going to see there is a lot of yin external movements that will set up the rebounding force engine. Okay, so for example, I'm not going to sit here and just push him over with a propelling engine. But I also won't just sit here and try to project him. You're going to see that I'm going to do a yin movement, and then I'll rebound off of him here. So as he's coming in, I'm going to yield, and he'll hit that there. Okay? So it looks something like this. You're going to see that all the time. In all of your, once you see it, once you know what it is, so let's say he's doing some pushing, same thing here. I'm going to clear it, and you're going to see it again, it's over here. So you see a yield, and then a rebound, boom. Once you see it, you should be able to see it everywhere, okay? So it doesn't have to be with him grabbing me, it doesn't have to be with me grabbing him, and it doesn't have to be on the arms or anything like that, okay? And it doesn't have to be with my hands either. So some example of not my cross grip, not my hands is, here's his movement, I'm going to yield, and then I'll bounce him off of my body. So boom, pop. Okay, or you'll have your throws here, right? It's now not in his wrist, it's going to be on his neck. So he bounces off of it. Same exact thing. There's going to be a yield, and you can think of it as the yield loads the rebounding tactic. Okay? So, when we were doing Murote, two-hand grab, and we're doing this technique, where we're coming around, there's your yield. So I'm going to yield, and as he comes in, I'm loading the rebounding. So this, not like the throw in the video. I just want you to see the rebound. I'm going to yield, it comes around, boom. So the rebound happens right on his center line. It's not over where you're doing a kind of like Kokyo this way. No. And there's no need to bend my elbow and cut him down. The yield of the Idimi Tenkan did it. So you notice that in the first video, my arm never bends. There's no need to bend it. The yielding tactic was in the movement of the body and the arm opening up. Okay? Even when I went straight up, as my arm goes up, that's the yielding tactic, and that's what hits. I don't need to bend my elbow, push him down. That's a propulsion engine. Okay, so to use the rebounding engine, I'm going to use my movement and my arm to set up the rebounding engine. So I'm moving around, pop. Okay, now for the throw, let's say he's pushing at me. He's never going to get in with the Kokyu. I can hold it here. So I'm going to let it go up. You see? Let his center come up just so slightly, and then the rebounding is here on his chest, back past his stance. So you're going to let him up, and then this is loading here. No different than this one loading here. If that's the angle I want, boom. This one just let it center up, and that's where you rebound there. So you have the direct, there's the yield. You have the tenkan, whoa, let him hit it. And you have to let their center through. So he can't be here. The center never come through. I could rebound from here, but he'll just go straight out. So in the yield, it goes up, the center comes through, and that's where the rebounding engine hits. So let's say he's here. I'm going to let his center up. Stay there. Imagine they let their center up by letting it go through, and then the rebounding energy pushes there. But it's not, that would be a propulsion engine. What I want is a rebound. And you see my arm is straight. Okay? Let's try. Okay, common mistakes. Your rebounding energy is only going to be as projecting as you absorbed. And that is a difficult part for people because they don't want to have it come in. But you have to let it come in. Okay? The more it comes in, the more you can store it, the more you can project it. So in terms of yin and yang, the more yin, the more yang. The less yin, the less yang. So for example, if I don't let him in, there's not much projection. Even if I am going to do it internally. So I won't let him in, it's small. Well, if I let him in, it stores. Okay? So in this throw, you not only want to obey the rule that the more you absorb, the more you can project, but in order to get the kazushi, I need his center to come forward of his head. That way, he's in this position. And my rebounding energy, even though my arm is here, I'm rebounding at this point where he's contacting, boom, into that line. That rebounding energy is going there. So I have to let him in and then project. It's not that I'm cutting down on him. When you see my hand drop, it's because it was relaxed and his hands went down. So I'll try to keep my hand up, and you can see that the projection already happened. What you see at the end is that it's a hand fall because there's nothing holding it up anymore. Okay? So don't try to cut him down. So there's no need to bend your elbow, and let them in more. Now, if this is your kazushi, you're going to get the hips forward, and you're going to push the chest down at this with that rebounding energy, this vector. If you miss glancing this way, you get something else. Glancing that way, you get something else. If it goes straight back, you get something else. So your rebounding energy just can't go wherever. It has to go into the angle that's going to do the throw. So if I go to the side, it'll turn him. Okay? Not to the side. Even as you take on here, let him come around into it. The Tenkan version is nothing different than the Omote version. I'm still in front of him. So I'm going to Tenkan, and he comes around. There it is right there. Like all your Uda versions. Okay? You do the spiral. There it is. Okay? You just wait for him to come back onto the Omote line. Okay? Try it again. Okay, so if we're down here, and I'm going to do that yield to load the rebounding, boom. It doesn't mean that I'm going like that. Meaning, if I go like this, and he was pushing on me, which is what the energy, the yang energy that I rebounded, if he's pushing on me fast, then it's not going to work. So the yang energy that he has, I still take it through the yin phase of my movement. So he can't push on me. This arm's not going to get here. So that way his whole body is affected, even on the yin movement. Okay? So when you're doing this, it's not that I go up. It's not going to work. Okay? He's pushing me, and I'm slowly re-angling that up. It's not that I just lift up and go like this. I'm here, and I'm going to lift slowly, letting him come under with no wet noodle arm, such that as my arm is here, he can't push me over, 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 he can't push me over. You understand? So some of you are just lifting and then hoping his center gets there. It's not going to get there that way. Okay? So I'll come around, shoot, and I control. Even at this weird angle, he tries to push. It's grounded here. He's pushing that way. Doesn't matter. So don't just go here like this. That's different. Does that look different? There's extension, boom. You will feel that. And that although it's not rebounding yet, it's being stored. And he feels that. Feels that the entire time. There's no, even though it's a yin external, he doesn't feel the retreating. And I'm incrementally releasing the bottom for him, not just getting out of the way so that his center comes forward. Do you understand? Okay. Some will see like a Nikyo, and then he's taking Ukemi by getting out of the way of the pain. That's not what's happening. There is no Nikyo. You gotta let go. You see? It doesn't matter. Just like if we were doing a Nikyo, when I'm here, I don't have to get on this side to project him out. I can be here on top and still project. He can let go and I still can project. So don't search for the lock. Search for the stored energy. Stored energy, stored energy, stored energy, letting his center through, and then boom. And hence, it's now Kokyu Ho. I'm working on the rebounding force engine. That's all I'm doing. Okay, Kokyu Ho, go. So in a rebounding energy, I want to absorb his energy. The more I absorb, the more that comes back out. Okay? And the more you propel, the less you absorb. Okay? And the more you propel after you project, the propulsion energy will take over from the absorption energy. Okay, so here, to get off of a Nikyo, I'm telling you it's not Nikyo, we're going to come here, okay? If you propel your arm, you'll slip through his grip, okay? So, because it's important, because that's the Aiki phase of Kokyu. So, I'm sticking in his arm by his energy that's coming in, and me neither retreating from it nor contesting it. I just sit there neutral and do the same technique. So, whoa. Doesn't matter if you're on the inside. Whoa. You got to do the same thing though. You can't just push back. You have to let him in to find the angle. It's the same relaxed arm. Okay? We're on the inside to get rid of the temptation of pushing on the apparent Nikyo, but there is no Nikyo that's go. Okay, as a micro drill, it's a two-man drill. So his spinal penetration is what generates the yang energy that I internalize, that I accumulate, that I will eventually rebound. Okay? But a lot of the uke get scared because their body can't understand it. Okay? And that actually works for you as long as you don't let their fear through contagion come into you. If their fear comes into you, you'll project, you'll propel. Okay? You have to stay relaxed. They'll be confused by what's happening. Their body will tense. And that's yang energy, okay? Because fear is that yang energy, okay? So it actually works for you, but you're going to first feel their fear, and it will have you want to be fearful, and you will do a propulsion, okay? So let's say you can see that he's really pushing, but you go here and he kind of stopped. He stopped on you, okay? I'm actually stopping him if you pay attention. I can feel the weight of my feet, and I can feel the weight on my arm, even though he's not doing the same spinal penetration. So it's the same yang energy, it's just at a lower level. So I will go ahead and adjust my body for what he's doing. So for example, there's less yang, so okay, we'll do the Tenkan one. Okay? Or I can yield. You get him to come in, his intention is to grab me, but my grab's not there in space. I'll make my grab over here in space, but it's timed with him. You can see he came in even deeper than he expected. But if I try to do that quickly, they'll let go because I am responding with the same fear. So you'll feel it, you'll feel what you'll feel. That was a lot of yawn. You can even go forward. Doesn't matter. It's not much, go forward. Yield. Lock in. Are you alright? Right? Yeah. You have small tensions. Big 10 cons. Big 10 cons with yields. Big 10 cons with irimis. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, okay? It's all a feeling of storing the energy, rebounding the energy. All right, let's try. So another way of thinking about how I'm kind of shaving off the top of the yang energy so that the center comes forward. Another way of thinking about it is that I let him lift my hand. So as I go like that, he keeps coming forward. He's pushing my hand forward. Dude, I don't lift my hand. I'm not here trying to shake my hand up. That would be a yin movement that as I go up, he would be able to shove it in. Nope, you bring your hand up, bring your hand up, bring your hand up, bring your hand up. I would be able to do it to him, okay? So instead, he's pushing, I keep changing the angle, and he now brought my hand up. I didn't lift my hand up. I'm not coming backwards and yielding externally. You understand? So as I come in, he lifts my hand up. That will let his center come forward. Do not lift your hand up. There's no going backwards in this idea. Okay? Try it again. Okay, remember that the internal aspects are, in modern terms, we probably call them psychophysical. I would just say they're spiritual aspects. Your desire to throw them will stop you from absorbing the yin aspect. So your fear of not throwing them is going to codependently arise your desire to throw them, and you will not be able to internalize the yang aspect. You will, and therefore you will not have a rebounding energy. You just have arm propulsion. So likewise, especially people who can't have no experience with the rebounding energy, or who have been misled from other modern Aikidoka that Kokyu is.
My hands are shaking, Sensei.
It's all right. We'll give it to you. So for those who have never experienced a rebounding energy, or for those who have been misled into believing Kokyu is going to be something else, it's hard for them to believe this. But even in the belief of it, you can hear their lust for power, because it makes them angry, because they think that someone would be all-powerful with such a skill. So they can't first accept that it's just a drill for cultivating rebound energy. Martially, you would use rebounding energy alongside propelling energy in any of the martially viable tactical architectures that you'd have. Kokyo Ho is not that. So when they watch it, they imagine that what you're doing is all powerful. But in your desire to be all powerful, which is inside your anger at seeing someone thrown by some way you can't understand, you can't do it. It's taken from you. So as you're practicing it, I'll give you the following things to help govern you into the form. The first thing is a physical thing. Do not move your back foot. At no point move your back foot. Once you get that, don't move your front foot or your back foot. And the second thing is a kind of meditation that you'll do at every single rep. You're going to not want to throw. As soon as you feel the desire arise, you're going to let it go. And once you get that, I want you to monitor for muscle tension. If you become sensitive enough to your desire to throw and your subsequent codependently arising fear, you can now start to feel the muscle tension that is actually stopping you from internalizing the yang energy that you want to rebound. So every time you do the throw, you have to make yourself desireless. So you have to make a problem out of the desire to throw. You have to make a problem out of the desire to become powerful.